My mother was a smoker. She smoked her whole life. She was addicted to nicotine. She started when she was 16 years old, which was 1948. But by the time 1964 came, the Surgeon General's report came out, and she was in her mid-30s, she knew that smoking was bad for you. And I tell you, I watched her as a kid growing up. She tried everything she could to quit. She had the gum, the patches, hypnosis. She tried everything. She couldn't quit. Now, when she turned 71, a little after that, she was diagnosed with lung cancer. No one came to me and said, don't treat her because she got what she deserved. We know the lung cancer was caused by the smoking. We know it was. But no one came to me and said, hey, listen, your mother was dumb. She started smoking when she was 16. Then after we told her it was bad for her, she kept doing it. So we're not going to give her chemotherapy. We're not going to give her radiation. We're not going to give her any of that stuff. You know why? Because she's getting what she deserves. No one said that. No one said that about someone who had cancer. Yet somehow, if it's heroin or cocaine or alcohol, we say, well, they decided they're getting what they deserved. I'm pro-life. And I think that if you're pro-life, that means you got to be pro-life for the whole life, not just for the 9 months they're in the womb. All right? It's easy. It's easy to be pro-life. For the 9 months they're in the womb, they haven't done anything to disappoint us yet. All right? They're perfect in there. But when they get out, that's when it gets tough. The 16-year-old teenage girl on the floor of the county lockup, addicted to heroin, I'm pro-life for her too. Her life is just as much a precious gift from God as the one in the womb. And we need to start thinking that way as a party and as a people, and the president needs to say those things. I'll give you a second example. I'm a recovering lawyer. Thank you. So I went to law school. And for any of you who went to law school, if there's anybody here who's a lawyer too, you can admit it privately if you want later. But the people that you're closest to from law school are those people who are in your first year study group. First year when you're nervous as heck, you don't know. You don't know what is up and what's down. Are you going to make it or not make it? You have this small group of people that everybody puts together. There were 8 of us in my group. And we studied together. And you get to see everybody at their absolute worst. These are your best friends in law school. One of the guys that was in my study group, give me his profile. You know, he came, we went to law school at Seton Hall University in New Jersey. He came from an Ivy League school to Seton Hall. He was the smartest of all of us. He became an editor of the Law Review. He was the first one of us who got a job out of school. Got it at a big, prominent law firm in our state. He's making more money than any of the rest of us. He married an incredibly beautiful woman who's a doctor. They have 3 gorgeous daughters, one cuter and happier and more talented than the next. He was the first one among us to become a partner at his law firm. He bought a great house. He had a great car, and worse yet, he was really good looking and in perfect shape. The guy used to run 10, 12 miles a week, every week. So we loved him, but we hated him because the guy had everything, right? He was running one day in his normal routine. He hurt his back running. He was in his early 40s and was not giving in to age. And he was running his normal time, and he hurt his back. And so he went to the doctor because he was having trouble working. It was really hurt. And so he said, listen, we're going to give you some treatment, whatever. But in the meantime, just to help you get you through, we're going to give you Percocet. Help numb the pain. Well, about a year later, I get a call from his wife. And she said, he's addicted to these painkillers. And he won't listen. And I kicked him out of the house. And he's living at his parents' house, and you guys need to go and have an intervention with him. Those friends from law school, you need to go and get him to go to rehab. So we all went over there. We had an intervention with him, and it started a 10-year odyssey of him being in and out of rehab. During that period of time, she divorced him. He lost his right to see his girls. He lost his license to practice law. He lost his driver's license. He lost his home. He bought himself a condo and she kicked him out. He lost that. He lost all the money, spent all the money that he had saved and had spent through most of his retirement. When a year and a half ago on a Sunday morning, Mary Pat and I got the call that we've been dreading forever, that they found him dead in a motel room with an empty bottle of Percocet and an empty quart of vodka. 52 years old. By every measure that we define success in this country, this guy had it. Great-looking guy, well-educated, great career, plenty of money, beautiful, loving wife, beautiful children, great house. He had everything. He's a drug addict, and he couldn't get help, and he's dead. And when I sat there as the governor of New Jersey at his funeral and looked across the pew at his 3 daughters sobbing because their dad is gone, there but for the grace of God go I. It can happen to anyone. And so we need to start treating people in this country, not jailing them. We need to give them the tools they need to recover, because every life is precious. Every life is an individual gift from God. And we have to stop judging and start giving them the tools they need to get better.